I'm Simon Retallack. I'm head of climate change at IPPR, the Institute for Public Policy Research. The free market will have a very limited ability to deal and address with climate change on its own. Lord Stern, the author of the Stern Review on the Economics of Climate Change, said that climate change itself was the biggest market failure in history. And that's because, left to its own devices, the market does not internalise the cost of the impact of burning fossil fuels or cutting down forests. You can do that and not pay the price. Therefore, governments have to intervene in the market to ensure that there is a price on carbon, that it does cost something to emit greenhouse gas emissions. At the moment, there are too many barriers in place for both business and the public to move on the scale and at the speed needed to avoid the worst impacts from climate change. It's unlikely that the government will be able to meet a long-term 2050 target, whether it's 60% or 80%, which is what more and more concerned scientists and environmentalists believe is necessary, if it gives the go-ahead to the building of new coal-fired power plants in the UK and agrees to the expansion of London's key airports by building new runways. It sows confusion in the minds of the public who are told they need to act on climate change and yet see the government giving a green light to activities that will increase the risk from climate change. Now, it's true that there may be a risk to certain sectors within the UK economy, notably the airline and the airport industries, from curbing the growth of aviation here and not where our competitors operate. But then it will be quite straightforward to try to reach an agreement with some of the big European rivals to Heathrow, for example, in Amsterdam and Paris, so that problem doesn't arise. It would be a challenge, but it'd be worth trying. We believe that the UK should meet the bulk of the majority of its emission reduction obligation through domestic action. We don't think that there should be no international emissions trading. The UK shouldn't be able to buy any credits to meet its domestic obligations from emissions trading. But the vast majority of the effort should be domestic. The problem with the UK failing to do that is that it would lose its credibility on the international stage in terms of leadership on action on climate change. If we're having trouble persuading the governments of China and India to take action to reduce emissions at the moment, imagine just how much harder it will be if we fail to demonstrate here in the UK, where we like to think we're leaders on this issue, to build a low carbon economy ourselves as opposed to buying in credits through the emissions trading schemes. The World Development Movement plays a really useful role in looking at the issues of poverty and environmental justice in a broader context than most organisations do, taking into account the real underlying causes of the problems, whether it's the existing trade and finance structures or the structures of multinational companies, and not many people do that. So that's valuable. But it's also clear that the WDM and others engaged in campaigns to accelerate action in the UK have a really important role in engaging and reaching out with members of the public to put pressure on government to do the right thing. And I would encourage WTM and other campaigning organisations to continue their good work on their campaigns to stop new coal build in the UK. That will be very important, and I think it's already having an effect. So step it up, carry on engaging and mobilising, continue to be radical, because in the end we're going to need radical solutions to deal with this problem.